Hello, greetings, and hello, everybody, and so good to see you. And this is the day that the Lord has made. We're here to rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to Hope TV. I'm Edua Smith and my wife, Andrea Smith, and we want to just say hello to everybody. And so excited you've tuned in today to the Hope TV. It's our prayer that you're blessed and walking in the favor of God. We appreciate you, we really do, for tuning in today. Amazingly, we started Hope TV a year ago. Yes,
A
you're right.
whole
It's been a
year.
year. Yeah, right. Yeah, one day I had an idea that we had to find a way to stay in touch with our people of our church, Greater Travelers Rest, house folk throughout the pandemic. And I said, we can do something media. And I talked to her about it, talked to the team about it. And March 19th of 2020 is when we had our first show, and we did Marriage Matters the following Thursday. And listen, we from that computer. We from the computer all day, every day.
Every day.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Every
driving.
day.
Really, I was
Every
driving
day.
them crazy. They really were getting tired of me. And here we are a year later. Nobody knew we'd be in a pandemic this long. And here we are a year later, and you guys have been faithful. Apple TV, Roku, Twitch, Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, IG Live, House of Hope website, Edua Smith website, Hope TV website, and we have had 118 million views of our content.
That's
So
amazing.
y'all talking about me. Y'all talking about me. They were talking about me. Really, the whole house. They were talking about me. But 118 million views throughout all the platforms, and it's unbelievable. And we're excited. So I appreciate you. And if you're watching through the platform today, that will allow you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share. Please do that. Every time you subscribe, you can get notifications as when new content is uploaded. We offer about 8 programs every day. I mean, from exercise to finances to women,
Mental
men,
health.
mental health, comedy, youth, children, senior, adults. I mean, just powerful stuff all day. So when you subscribe and get notifications, your likes are very, very important. It helps us with our algorithms and our engagements. Your comments are very, very important. And you can drop us some comments even tonight. Just drop us some comments on there. And then, of course, most importantly, your shares. Every time you share it, you help us to expand the algorithms and the engagements, and it helps us to grow the platform. We're trying to get 200 million people this year. So we're excited. I appreciate it. It's amazing. This you tuned in to Marriage Matters, and I think we did our first one. It was the last Thursday in March, and here we are. Today is, help me say it. What's the correct way to say it today? What's the today?
National Black
National Black
Marriage
Marriage Day. Today is National Black Marriage Day, and you tuned in to Marriage Matters. And Andrea last year was working with the Women's Ministry, Women of Hope, for what was that weekend called? Was it Women? It was just whatever. What do you call it?
I don't even
All
remember
right,
that.
they had a whole week,
It was on
and
relationships.
yeah, and her and Mrs. Reynolds and Pastor Cross and Maria Reed, shout out to them, decided to do something with couples, and you kind of work with them, and it almost like it prepared us for this. So this is really like a continuation of what the women started last year, and here we are, and this is probably arguably the top rated show out of all 26 of them. So thank y'all for tuning in, and it's not just for married people. Everybody,
Right.
her mother watches it.
And she's single
Yeah,
and 86.
she almost 90. She need to be watching it Forever Young. But anyway, that's a different story. But she get a man even in her 80s. I ain't never seen anything like it. But be careful if you want to date it, because
All right, leave
those
my
guys
mama
don't last
alone.
long every
Leave my
time.
mama.
You know, she get married to them, but they don't last long. So, but anyway, anyway, we want to welcome y'all to Marriage Matters today, and we're so excited to have some powerful couples. This is very powerful, and you and Cherie, Pastor Cross, and everybody, y'all did a great job on this show. So we're excited. We have 3 couples today, but please send a link out. Somebody who's getting married, share it. Call somebody right now, share it, because it's gonna be awesome. It's different, and it's gonna be very, very fun and very informative. So y'all share it. Somebody's getting married, somebody's in marriage. If they've been married 50, 20, 30, 10 years, just got married, please send this link out. I'm telling you, it's going to bless them. All right. So we have three powerful couples that we appreciate. One of the first couples we met, we moved here, and they've been married for 50 years this year.
Amazing.
That's a beautiful couple, and we want to thank God for Deacon John and Mrs. Letice Reynolds. Well, welcome to Reynolds to our show. Hey, Reynolds family, what's going on?
Hello. All right.
Hey.
Good to see y'all. Thank you for being here. And so we look forward to hearing from them. And then, of course, another couple, we met the wife. We moved here as well.
Yes, when we first moved.
Yeah, and been in Greater Travelers for a long time. A father, deacon of the church, and they've been married 3 years. They just celebrated 3. Can you believe that? We did their wedding 3 years ago, and blessed us, and it was wonderful, beautiful. So let's welcome Eric and Ori Thornton. What's going on, Thornton family? I almost called them.
How y'all doing?
Hey.
Y'all doing good. Good to see y'all. Thank y'all for being a part. And then good to see you. And then last but not least, we have a couple who is engaged.
Right.
And they're getting ready to be married. And we're excited about it because we get a chance to see their journey from the beginning. They're going through the consultations and stuff like that. And we're glad to have them with us today as well. And we're excited about Taylor and Sean. So welcome, Taylor and Sean.
Hey everyone.
Hi.
Well, welcome. Glad to have you. Glad to have you all. So this is a great time, and we're excited. So at this point, we're getting ready to get started. I'm so excited.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Because I get a chance to hear how everybody met. We're going to get the truth, from the ladies, and then we'll just let the men just say whatever.
Okay.
So we're going to start with you, Mrs. Reynolds, since you guys have been married the longest. Can you tell us how Deacon John tracked you down and just, ran behind you until you just gave in?
I think we have a very interesting story. Actually, I was invited to a house party. Back then, most of the parties were given in apartment. What do they call those things? Apartment. Oh, the recreation hall in an apartment. And we met over to a girlfriend's house. There were about 5 women. And I did not know that a lady who hosted the party was dating John. I didn't know that. So when we got to the clubhouse, of course, John asked to dance with me just about every single dance. I never knew that he and this lady were friends, if that's the way you want to put it. And that's how I first met Deacon John, through one of his friends.
You stole that lady's boyfriend.
It was not intentional. Not intentional.
Now, Deacon Reynolds, I know y'all were dancing and having a good time, but I know she said something. I know she put you in a bad position. Tell the real story. What did Ms. Letice do to just reel you on in? I know she did something. I know she was dressed to kill. She did something. So what did she do? Tell us what happened.
Well, actually, she got part of the introduction right, but actually, just to set the record straight, that was not my girlfriend. She was my friend. She just happened to be a female, and so
that's what I thought.
I mean, I'm on the real. I'm really telling the truth, and so what happened was, Letice and I worked with her at the same job, and all of the young ladies that came, Letice was only one of 4. All of them came there to the apartment at the same time, and I was the only one there. So I was outnumbered, and everyone was socializing with each other, and I'm just sitting back being cool. And what happened was, Mrs. Reynolds was so striking. She was, I mean, she was what you call a 10. She was small, tiny.
All right, watch it.
and so, but I did not get out of line. And so everything went fine, and the party was over, and everybody was gone. And the real problem came when I had to ask my friend for her telephone number, because I didn't get it from Letice. I had to get the number from my friend.
Girlfriend.
My
Oh,
friend.
Well,
But
thank God for
now,
that
listen,
girlfriend.
listen, if that was just a friend, she would not have gotten a little upset when he asked for that number, right, ladies?
That's right.
Right
You are
now.
so right.
can't argue with that.
Well,
So that's
I
our
can't help you
story.
with that one. Well, I'm glad you got the phone number. That's good.
That's good.
All right, you're up next. You're up next, Ori. How did you guys meet?
Okay, so he was at a bar and I was on a pub crawl and I walked into that bar and he was in the back with his friends and I was going to meet some of my girlfriends who happened to be right next to their booth. And we're having a good time and I happen to look over and see this group of guys and I was kind of making fun of what they were drinking because, that's not exactly what I would identify as like a masculine drink. And it's like this group of guys. And so he happened to be the guy on the end. And I looked at him and I was like, all of you guys are drinking that. And it led into a conversation and we recognized each other. We didn't know each other, but we recognized each other. And so we just exchanged information and that's how we met. Me clowning around.
So Eric, the bottom line is, nothing wrong with your drink. She just wanted to have something to say to you. So tell us the real story. 'Cause I know she left something out. I know she didn't tell the whole story. She didn't tell the whole story.
So, Pastor, I'm gonna give you the real. I'm gonna give you the real. So, we were at a bar, and I was with not only my friends. Friendship is essential to the soul. So I was with my with my fraternity brothers. Morehouse Psi Chapter, Omega Psi Phi, and we were we just celebrating life. And so we were there, and so me and Ori went to the same high school, but Ori is 2 years older than me, and I'm a type of person that I recognize everything, but specifically I recognize Ori because obviously she was so beautiful and her charisma was just showing. Charisma was showing so much that she ended up sitting right next to me, right? And so she came in with some of her friends. She went to FAMU with, and they were doing like a bar crawl. And again, once she came in, she sat right next to me, and from there, she in true Ori Lovett Thornton fashion, well, Ori Lovett at this time, she just we were drinking some beer, and with some fruit in it. And she was like, "Oh, y'all!" I mean, because all of them, they were drinking some like cocktail.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
No, tell the story. Tell the story.
They were a little bit rougher than what we were doing. We were doing wholesome, Omega things, and from there she talked about my beverage, and from there we were talking the whole time, and I was like, hey, I definitely want to, we need to finish, our conversations because it was nice. And so that's what it was. That's how we met. But she talked
Well, hey,
about me
man.
at first.
Well, look here. Hey, you can thank God for being fruit because it worked out for you.
How about
Please
that?
tell me it was at least a lemon or an orange or something.
It was orange. Yeah, it was orange.
Taylor, so please tell me, how did Sean, just get blessed with you? How did you guys
Yeah,
meet?
so Sean and I actually met in a non-traditional way. So we actually met on a dating app. So I'm originally from Atlanta, but I left for school, left for work, and I moved back to Atlanta in 2017. So got on an app and ended up matching with Sean. And we had some good conversation in those first 2 days. And then he wanted to meet me like after 2 days. And that was like a red flag for me. So I was like, I stopped talking to him after that. But then, like, he kind of kept pursuing me respectfully, of course. And then we ended up going on a date, and it was great in person and went so well. We ended up continuing it on after at a different restaurant. So that's the story.
Wow, I love
Well,
it.
well, Taylor, you do know that she already knew you on that app, and she joined the app just because you on that app, and that's how she found you. That's what I think happened. But you tell me what happened.
Yeah, she came searching for me.
That is
But
not true.
but no, so she set everything right up until the point of me reaching out 2 days later trying to meet up. Like she said, we met in a non-traditional way. Well, I'm a traditional guy, so I was like, hey, look, let me really get to know you and try to invest some time and meet face to face. And she just completely shut me down. She didn't say how hard I worked to come back and get her good grace. So, I can't remember exactly what I said, but, said enough to where she actually gave me a chance. And, again, like she mentioned, our conversation, that's what just really hooked me. Just about her vision and, her plans for the future. It was like, whoa, you're a little younger than me and you like seeing the bigger picture already. So, that was refreshing. And then, I mean, we just kept growing and have been inseparable since.
Say, Sean, you just blessed my heart because you made the guys look real good on this show tonight. I'm gonna give it for the fellas. So everybody who's watching, there's some good wholesome guys on this platform tonight. So we thank God for Deacon Reynolds, for Eric,
Absolutely.
and for Sean for holding it down for the fellas. Good
Yes,
representation.
sir.
We don't always get the best representation. These three
Y'all,
represented
y'all
good.
did well. Y'all did well.
So kudos to the fellas.
So, Mrs. Reynolds and Deacon John, I met you guys. You all were the first couple that we met when we moved to Atlanta. You had us in your home. We were still living in Macon,
Sure, yeah.
and we were riding back and forth. And one day, you guys invited us over.
That was the first time, first
First,
service.
our
Yeah.
first service.
That's trying to, the very first time.
Yep, they
Yeah.
invited us over. And you guys always have a special place in my heart for that.
Yep.
But when I first met you guys, Deacon John, he was actually chairman of the Deacons Ministry, and you were on staff at another church. And I was like, this is just so cool to me that they can make this work and that, they're confident in themselves, they're confident in their marriage. How did that work for you guys? And, what's the story behind it?
Well, when we first got married, of course, I was formerly a member of West Hunter Street Baptist Church under Ralph David Abernathy. Some of you all may remember him. And when we got married, of course, I joined Greater Travelers Rest with John, and I was there for a little over 10 years. And I love the members, the people were just wonderful. But I felt like at that time that I needed more. I needed to understand more about Christianity in terms of different things that I'd read in the Bible. And so I joined another church, but I talked to John about it first because that's the way we operate. And he didn't say to me, that's not something I want you to do. He was very encouraging to me about that. And I think that's because his mom and dad went to two different churches. John's mother went to Greater Travelers Rest Baptist Church, and John's dad went to Turner Monumental. So I think that helped a lot, but the support that my husband gave me when I left Travelers Rest was phenomenal. It was almost like a marriage to the other church. He literally came over and walked me down the aisle to actually join. And I'll never forget that as long as I live, because it really showed me how much this man truly, truly not only loved me, but trusted me to make that kind of step towards my Christianity. And so I just appreciate how he handled that with me. Did you want
Deacon
to say
Reynolds,
something?
let me ask you a question, Deacon Reynolds, because I got to, before you respond, because that story is big on a lot of ways.
Right.
It's bigger than just a church decision. You got a lot of men who have a lot of men would be intimidated,
And insecure.
insecure. I mean, we talk about whether it's a woman that makes more money, whether it's a woman who's trying to, become the mayor of the city of Atlanta, whether it is the first black woman becoming vice president. Sometimes men, all men, but it's particularly Southern men. Sometimes we can get very intimidated when our wives do well, have their own independence. So I'm asking you that because I want you to answer. When you give your answer, what would you say to the guys who have women who are strong, who love their husbands, but who want to do some things that are different outside the traditional, what we call traditional? How do you handle that? What kind of advice would you give to them as you answer the question?
Well, Pastor, let me tell you, Latisha was right. First of all, you have to pay attention to your upbringing because some things are caught better than taught. And my father being an AME and my mother being a Baptist. And so from childhood, it just was like second to me, like, hey, I had a home that was joyful. It had two parents. They went to different churches, and it was my dad. I knew what an alpha male was, and I knew what it was much more important to be a loving husband at home than to be a bring down God from heaven prayer in church. You see, when you start talking about marriage, men, it's so vital that what's important is that you show the love at home. That if nobody else sees it in you, they will always see it in your wife.
That's awesome. And so you just saw it at home, so it was second nature for you.
It was easy.
So what would you say to the guys who did? So what about the guys? What would you say to the guys who having a hard time with it? What would you tell them?
Well, it's I would say to the guys that have a hard time, because even the pastor of Latisha Church at that time, he said to me, he don't think he could have did that if it was his wife.
Wow.
Now, that's what he said that to me. And so it was not hard for me, like I said, because number one, I was conditioned to it. I don't think I could have did it without the upbringing, Pastor. There's no sense of me trying to take credit for something that just happened. Okay, but it was things at home was beautiful. Latisha, for all 50 years, I'm about the happiest man ever was. You know that, right?
Pastor, let me say this too. I think it's important to also add this. My leaving Travelers Rest, there were a couple of things that I knew at that time. Number one, I learned how to be even a better wife to him because of how I was being taught. But second of all, you can be so religious where you forget that everything ain't religious, so to speak. And so I knew in my heart that, okay, John is at Travelers Rest. I don't want any of those women over there thinking my man is single. So I stayed in touch with the deacon wives as a way of communicating to others. This man has a wife. So pretty much when I did leave the other church and come back home to Greater Travelers Rest, a lot of people actually thought that I was already there because the church had grown so in numbers. So they thought that I was already a member. And so it was a blessing to be where I was, but it's also even more blessing to come back to my home church and serve. And so, and John is really the love of my life. I don't think his mom told him when she met me, he couldn't have done any better. And I tell him almost every other day, no, I could not have done any better, because he is just a wonderful human being. And I'm not just saying it to be saying it. He's a good man.
That's awesome. Wow, beautiful.
Let me ask you this, Ori and Eric. So you guys got married 3 years ago, and I want to know for the people who are about to get married, such as Taylor and Sean, like what was your biggest adjustment coming from being single? You know, like for me, it was, I can remember before I got married, I would come home from work and I could go to my room, you know, lay down, take a little nap. I didn't have to talk to anybody. But then when I came home from work that first time and he was like, how was your day? What'd you do? Da 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 da. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta talk, you know, when I when I get home. So what were like some of your adjustments, like going from being single and then to getting married?
Okay, I have a few. The first adjustment is obviously from going out a lot to not going out party as much. And then there's also, you know, when similar to you, when I come home, I may or may not prepare my dinner. Like if I'm not hungry, I'm not eating. Like I'm okay. Or if I just want cereal for dinner, then that's fine. Like we got something, you know. So that was an adjustment, making sure that, you know, we always ate. Now I wasn't always cooking every day. I did cook a lot more at that time than I do probably now. But I definitely was cooking more. I partied less, and I would say it was just an adjustment of combining two similar but different lifestyles and backgrounds. Eric saw things a lot differently than I did. And trying to, 'cause, I mean, we started working on this in our relationship. We have very different upbringings. And, you know, it's kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily say who's right, but we really had to make some adjustments when it was how we saw the world, how we saw Christianity, how we saw, you know, roles in a relationship, because these are all things that we definitely had to talk about prior to. But even as we were growing, you know, you continue to grow. Like we were together 2 years before we got engaged, and then we were engaged a year. So over that time, we're growing, but you're still learning. You don't just know everything by the time you get married. And so I think the biggest adjustment was our perspectives and how do we merge the two.
That's good. What about you, Eric? What was your biggest adjustment?
Well, I would say my biggest adjustment is, you know, obviously understanding that now, me and Ori, especially when we got engaged, we were living together, and so, you know, I mean, in person when we started, when we first came together, when we first moved in, you know, I had to get adjusted because we were living in a like a
One bedroom,
like a
one
one
bath.
bedroom, like you know, sort of a studio, you know, so we didn't have much space to be, you know, to kind of have our own privacy there. But so we had to learn how to balance that. And obviously my wife, I love my wife so dearly, but she can talk for sure. She gets that honestly from my lovely, lovely, lovely mother-in-law, whom I love dearly. And so I had to, you know, I had to make sure, you know, obviously, and I like to talk too, but it was just having that healthy medium and knowing that, hey, you know, I got, you know, when my wife comes home, she wants to, you know, she got to tell me about all her day, you know. So, you know, that's the main thing. I think just having that balance, and also us really working on you know, not the attraction, but really the friendship. I think that was essential in us growing in those, you know, in those adjustment periods. I mean, I think it's always an adjustment. It's all, you know, I mean, we're learning and we're growing from each other. I mean, with each other on a daily basis. So yeah.
My mama gonna watch this link.
He said he love her.
Shout out to Papa a little bit too. I love him too. That's my favorite.
All right. So Taylor and Sean, you met untraditionally, and and eventually came together. How did you know? How did both of you know that this is the one? I'm asking that for couples who may be watching right now, who may be contemplating getting married. So you're adults, you're doing your own thing. What were some of the signs that let both of you know? Taylor, Sean is for me, and Sean will let you know that Taylor was for you.
Yeah, I know it's kind of cliche, but when they say you know, I mean, it was just like instant. Like again, our conversations, it just blew me away just to see what she had going for herself and, also what she wanted to do for others. I think that was the biggest thing because, I'm the same way. Try to give back to the youth as much as possible. She does the same. And it was just like, okay, I like your flow. It was just smooth. There wasn't any hiccups. And what really stood out for me was after that first year of dating, it was so smooth. Like I had to take a step back. Like, did that really just happen? We made it a full year. Like we're still good. We still like each other. And I actually at that time, we started to love each other. And it was just like, okay. But the biggest thing that set it over the top, where I said I want to make this woman my wife, she started to challenge me in that second year. So I know I just said the first year was smooth, but probably like that first day of the second year, she was just, "Hey, what you doing today? Like, what you got going on? What's going on?" So when she started challenging me, it was just like, "Okay, you're not backing down, and you're trying to help me grow." And that's what really stood out the most was, yeah, it's great to have a friend, someone who's almost like your yes person, your go-to, but someone who's trying to make you better. That's what really pushed me over the top. And then it just, again, everything just became easier, even with the challenges. So that's when I knew, like, hey, we need to go ahead and take this next step.
Yeah, for me, I think in the beginning it was very clear that we had a lot of the same core values, like kind of how you mentioned before. So, giving back was very important to him. When I met him, he was coaching football actually, and that was like very evident. And I got to meet his family very early on, and I saw how close his family was and started kind of envisioning myself, in that big family environment. So that was really nice, and everyone really made me feel at home. And then more than anything, like I can really be myself around Sean. Like 100%, I don't hold back. I don't ever switch it up. And I know that he loves me and accepts me fully for who I am. And so it's awesome to have someone that could meet you where you're at, but also that you can grow with them, as you kind of reach your full potential as well. And then lastly, like I know Sean really has my back. Like I could be driving to Macon, for example, pulled over and be like, I just broke down. I know he would drop whatever he was doing and, come and make sure I was okay. And so having that type of security, especially now that I'm in school as well, has been just an awesome support system for me. And I'm excited to build a life with him.
So let me ask this while you're talking about school. So you're planning a wedding during a pandemic. You guys about to get married, and you're in school. You guys are
Yeah.
working. You're giving back. How do y'all have time to date?
Well, I think it helps because we both really like food, so we prioritize food in this
Yes.
house. So whether that's cooking together or going out to eat, like if nothing else, if we don't do anything else, we kind of have that for sure.
And it's, what she mentioned, like us having that common interest. I mean, we just really make the time. It's almost like, you got a schedule at work, you got to have the same scheduled time, especially early on right now. And I mean, it's just really a joint effort. It's not perfect, at times, like, especially with the pandemic, it's been challenging. But, trying to get out there as little as we can and, just enjoy some time outside of this house together.
Yeah, I was gonna say just being like trapped together 24/7 too, you have to be intentional about spending special time together. And what I mean by that is obviously we see each other in passing all day long, whether I'm in class or he's working from home, but just making sure that we're having like conversations at the end of the day to recap and just really connecting in that way as well.
That's awesome. We almost out of time already. I need to ask each one of you one quick question. Well, y'all listen, because we got a whole bunch of stuff to ask, and I'm just talking. We over the time already. Y'all, but can y'all come back for part 2? Y'all, everybody, I need everybody to come back for part 2.
Yeah,
Sure
we can
thing.
do that.
But all right. Before we close, though, I wanted to ask one quick question, and we'll start with the Reynolds, and this is gonna be my question to you both. You've been married almost 51 years, and yet both of you look amazing. Every time I've ever seen you, you're both just the picture of health. You sharp, uh, energy. You fit
Smiling.
together. You smiling. What has been the key? I mean, you know, y'all look great. I mean, and how have you maintained that for 51 years? I mean, how have you done that?
I'll answer that.
Oh, okay. I get to speak first. Okay. Listen, Pastor, all I can do is just tell the truth and how it happens. I think there is excitement every day in the Reynolds household.
Mhm.
As long as there's excitement, see, a lot of times, if you want things to get dull, then that's a disaster waiting to happen. But always understand, I don't care who it is, how long you've been in your marriage. I'm almost 51 years, and I'm just trying to imagine what I'm gonna do for 52, because the 52 years of marriage, I've got to pull something off better than 51, because you can only imagine. It has to stay exciting. And I got a wife, and she let me speak first because she keeps it exciting for me. Well, I mean, you know, it's nice when in the COVID to take a stroll, and we have to leave the house, no problem. If we have to go check on a piece of property or do something like that, that's a hey. It's wonderful to be with someone you love, and to go for a trip, go to the park, and you know, and to just say, listen, don't cook today. This is the unexpectedly, you know, just this is the day off. Now, a lot of people have what they call date nights. We have what you call date months. We have a wonderful time. You know, sometimes you have to have a month. You know, we started, the pandemic started in March. We was gonna be in Tokyo in April. And then you can imagine how much bagging up and how much we had to bag that up. And so April was our we in Tokyo month in Georgia. And so it's
And before John finishes, let me say this too. I have always felt like a woman should always look as good for her man as when she first met him. That's important to me, because when I step out with or without John, if he gets a report, I want him to get the right report. I don't go anywhere with hair rollers in my head. I don't go anywhere with house shoes, flip-flops, and all that on. When I go out, I go out. And I do that because I enjoy, number one, being a lady, and I think it's important. Ladies, always look your best. Always. That's important to your husband.
That's great. That's great.
You say that after I've gained all this COVID weight.
Yeah, yeah. We can lose it.
Listen, no problem with weight. I actually, since COVID, I actually lost over 20 pounds.
You look great. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Hey, this has been great. We're gonna come back. Listen, fam, those who've been watching, I hope you've been inspired. I hope you shared the link. It's been incredible. I've been so excited just to have these 3 different perspectives of just beautiful people, and I hope you glean from it. Hope you've been inspired. We're gonna close, but they've considered to come back next week. So I want you to tune in, same day, same time next week, as we continue this conversation. And so I'm having my wife Andrea and I. We're excited. You've been watching Marriage Matters. make sure you share the link with somebody even after this broadcast has ended. We're going to close, but until next time, if you be good to God, God be good to you. Till next time, take care. Peace.
Bye, y'all.